and everyone would be like, hey, you're Zuri's sister. And
You just got the stamp of approval, hecho en Mexico, and that's it.
And that's when I like really like broke out of my shell more, and like I got to like
That's why I feel like people don't change, because they stick to
the same thing.
same
forever,
profession.
Like I had a goal in mind. Okay, I gotta get out of debt. I gotta purchase a house. I have kids.
Better cookie. Eat with milk, without milk, on the road, off the road, at home. Chips Ahoy or Oreos.
Oreo.
Why?
Just like when you dip it in the milk.
Mm.
You know, and it just gets so soft, you know, it just, and then just the filling in it, and just the richness of it. I'm totally an Oreo.
No,
Totally.
no, I'd have
I mean,
to.
don't
I'd
get me
have
wrong.
to.
I love Chips Ahoy, and
Okay.
I'll eat that, you know. But if I had to choose, it would totally be an Oreo cookie.
I would say that's the wrong answer. To me, at least. You know,
Okay,
just
why?
'cause-
I'm open-minded. I'm
Okay,
open-minded.
why? Because everybody and their mama sees the Oreo and sees the iconic grandpa and little granddaughter commercial. We're like, just crack it like this, you know, and lick it, put it back together,
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
dip it. Yeah, of course, right? It's super cool. But one, the Chips Ahoy absorbs milk a lot better and a lot quicker, other than Oreos, because it's already filled in with that is it milk, right? The filling.
Yeah.
So the inside of the both cookies are like milk proof, so it takes longer for the milk to get inside the cookie.
True.
And then the Chips Ahoy one, it's just like instant.
But if you keep it in there too long, so the guy like
Same as the
but
the what stays on the Oreo is just a white filling, and then the cookie starts to like drizzle down, and like go into the milk, and then your milk is all ugly and nasty and Oreo.
So that's the
stuff.
best part, because then you get to drink it, and then you have the little
Okay,
chunks of the
drinking
Oreo.
it. I sometimes bite and then drink milk.
I wait till the very end. Like I dunk all my cookies, and then I just
And then you drink the milk
drink
after.
my milk after.
So you have a cookie flavored milk
Yeah.
at the end.
At the end, it's the best part.
Okay. I mean,
Hands-
I do.
hands down.
I do that with
Hands down.
coffee. I dip it in coffee, but I drink it last.
Okay, what is your favorite pan dulce to go with a coffee?
The cerditos, the little pigs.
Those are so good.
The little pigs. I don't care who makes it. It can be from there, from here,
Yes,
from anywhere.
those
like,
are the best.
The cerditos to me
Yes.
are like the best.
I can go for like a coconut cookie. Have you had the little coconut ones? Y tienen like the piña and the pineapple in the middle.
Mm-mm.
I'm
not much of a coconut
so good.
eating person. I like coconut like water and coconut milk.
But
like eating the coconut itself, not so much.
I'm a bit.
It's okay.
I will agree with you on the marranito. I know it is a marranito.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
But those are hands down the best.
I don't know. I just saw it just looks like a pig.
Like
so
when they
I
come
just call
out
it like that.
of the oven.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so good.
So introduce yourself. Where are you baking these little marranitos?
So I'm Zuri. They call me Z. But
Really?
yeah, a lot of people call me Z. They just say Z.
Okay.
A
All
lot
right.
of
This
people.
is the first time I've heard
Really?
that. First time I've
so
ever heard
many
that.
people call me Z.
I just know you as Zuri.
So I work at Mexicatesan with my dad, who started, I think, in 2011, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been working with him for over a year now. And I'm his baker.
Do you like it? You're on camera.
I do. I honestly really do. I'm
Okay.
enjoying it. I get to see my parents every day.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
I like learning from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
He's taught me so much about business. I love it. I truly do. There's days where, like it gets frustrating, but I'm so proud to see how far he has gotten.
Yeah.
You know, and I love seeing that aspect, you know.
That's what's up.
So
I like that.
And I like it. Like I like people coming in and they're like, un pan dulce con mi café. Like,
Yeah.
because you have the best conversations over
Just coffee.
coffee and a
Yeah.
pan dulce. Like seriously, you really
Yeah,
do.
100%.
So I think that's so cool that we get to be a part of that. You know what I mean?
I'm a firm believer that coffee brings world peace.
Definitely.
And with that, I'm Ro. This is my third podcast. Third. I had one, and then another one as a spin-off. We'll call it Word of Mouth, WOM, which is kind of cool because I like play on words.
Okay.
Because if everybody says, "Oh, where'd you hear that?" "Oh, from word of mouth," you know, or "How'd you hear from us?" "Oh, word of mouth," or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me use that as a podcast name, Word of Mouth. So that was like my first original podcast, and I've just been featured here and there. I don't know. I like this, the 3 cameras, the microphones, the sitting, the chilling, the talking,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like weird because that's an audience, but they're not there, but they're there.
They're there, yeah.
And so, but yeah, I just like all things media and a jack of many trades.
Look at you.
And then I just do a lot of stuff. And so yeah, my name is Rogelio. They call me Ro. And then that's it, you know, a short glimpse of me. But one story I like to tell to everybody is that I met my brothers. I have 2 older brothers. So I'm Mexican Honduran. And you are full Mexican.
Born in Mexico, my parents, yeah.
So I'm Mexican Honduran, mom is Honduran, dad's Mexican. And one of my favorite stories is that I met my brothers at the age of 11 or 12. So for 12 years, I thought it was just me and my sister.
You and your sister.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then
didn't think there was any other siblings.
No, did not think. I knew my mom had a foster kid back in Honduras that she was sponsoring. Because she would show me a picture like, oh, this is my other daughter. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, oh, I'm like helping her like financially. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. And then that's all I knew. I was like, I have a sister in Honduras. And then out of nowhere, my mom was like, we're going to Honduras. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, what do I know?
Yeah, let's
I'm like, I'm 11, you know? And I was like, yeah, we're going to go get your brothers. I'm like, who?
Hold up.
And she's like, yeah, your brother, you got 2 older brothers. I was like, I don't remember recalling 2 older siblings older than me. Like in this picture. And she's like, well, you got 2 older brothers, so we're gonna go get them. And I'm
so like out of nowhere.
That's how I remember it.
Okay.
Just out of nowhere. And so we get to Honduras, and then they see my mom, they hug her because they haven't seen her in like so many years. And I'm like, who are y'all, dude? Like, get off my mom. You know, that's my mom. Like, don't touch her. We had to get all the paperwork signed or whatever. And then I forgot how long it took, but then we picked them up in Houston, I think many months later. We picked them up in Houston from a van. No, from the airport. From a van was a different person. From the airport. And then we brought them here to the state, to Lufkin. And the rest is kind of history. But the first 2 years was weird. Because all they knew was Spanish.
So they're in the house with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
And so you have 2 older brothers that you had didn't know nothing about.
No, yeah.
And they just move in.
The oldest at the time, I think it was like 18 or 19. And then the second was like 15 or 16 or something like that.
And you were like 12.
And I was like 12.
Okay.
And I'm like, bro, who are y'all? Like, y'all just, to me, y'all are 2 random strangers living in the house.
Living in the house, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is unlawful, you know, but whatever. And then they knew Spanish. And then I knew both, but I knew more English just because of school, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, this is kind of weird because the oldest brother went straight to work.
What's your oldest brother's name again?
His oldest is Alex.
Alex.
And then the second oldest, his legal name is Melvin.
Melvin.
But his middle name is Uvini. So we call him Uvini.
Uvini, okay.
Yeah. They're just chilling at the house and I'm trying to like get used to like hanging out with my sister, but at the same time, my mom's like, get to know your brothers. And I'm like, bro, what do we talk about? I don't know who they are. I don't know what they are. Like, I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
they're just complete strangers to me. I think it took me maybe like 3 or 4 years to get comfortable with them.
Yeah.
Like talking with them, having them be around the house.
Yeah.
Working with me and my dad, and it was weird. It was definitely weird. And then after that, it's just now we're just chilling. Now the oldest one is married, no kids. The second oldest married, 3 kids. And then now we're all just chilling. We're having a good time.
Y'all seem to have a good bond.
Oh yeah, like we all like with both of them. I have something to talk about at all times.
Good.
So if we were to like if they were to come back to live at the house, just them 2, there would not be a conversation we wouldn't bring up.
But it took y'all a minute.
It took us a minute, 100%. Yeah. I would see how they handled their lives because they're 2 complete opposite people. like they're 2 peas in a pod, but 2 different types of peas. Like the oldest, nonchalant, very introvert, very chill guy. The second oldest, very extrovert and just outgoing and loud and likes to play around and have fun.
Yeah.
And they're just 2 complete opposites, but they like link together. And I'm kind of like, I see myself the in between. Like I can be both people. I can be the extrovert and have fun, but at the same time, I like to chill and just be quiet.
Just in the middle.
Yeah, just in the middle. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, like that's where I feel like I fit in with both because I can connect with both at any time. And then when all 3 of us together, we're either loud or quiet. But yeah,
That's a pretty crazy story, though.
Yeah.
You know, to not think you have just you and your sister, and then that's it. And then all of a sudden, hey, you have 2 brothers, and we're fixing to go get them. And then just have them move in.
Yeah.
That is pretty crazy.
With, because it's just you and your sister.
Well, it's just me and Abby. We're complete opposites. Abby's more chill, quiet, calm. I'm more like, let's talk. Like, let's get to know more people.
Let's start a podcast.
Let's start a podcast, you know? I think, you know, and I think that just makes every sibling, like, just work, you know? I remember my dad was like, Abby would just, growing up, so I'm 4 years older than Abby, and everyone would be like, hey, you're Zuri's sister.
Oh my God.
And she would come home and she's like, I hate it.
I hate it.
Everybody knows you.
Yeah.
You
no,
know,
my
everybody
sister's
knows
same
you.
way. She's like, are you Ro's sister?
And
like,
Abby hates it because everyone's like, everyone knows me as just your sister.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, well, I just like talking to people. Like,
right.
I like, if you vibe with me, like, I'll vibe with you, you know?
Yeah,
like, we'll talk, you know?
The one thing I like what my sister does is she'll see a friend of mine and then they'll tell her, like, oh, hey, tell Ro I said what's up. And she's like, don't you got his number? Text him, call him. You know, don't tell me to tell him. You tell him. And I was like, you say that? She's like, to some of them, yeah. I'm like, man, you're kind of mean. I was like, but I like it, though. What do you remember from Mexico? And
Honestly,
then your other places that I want you to bring up.
So I was born in Mexico, Mexico City. And honestly, I don't remember anything. Like, I was 2 when we moved from Mexico City.
Okay.
And
you just got the stamp of approval, hecho en Mexico, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
You got on the bottom of your
foot. I got my vacuna right here, you know? And that's it. Like, let's dip. So we went to Texas. Don't remember anything. We lived in Toronto. And I loved Toronto. Like, I had a really good childhood in Toronto. I think I was there for, like, kindergarten and 1st grade.
Okay.
And then the other 2, obviously, I wasn't in school yet. But I had a really good childhood there.
So what's Toronto like for a young little Zuri?
It was so fun. Like, there was no such thing as snow days. Like, it did not matter.
Compared to here?
Yeah, like seriously, like, it was like 5 feet of snow. And you're like, you're going to school. So you just put on your snow pants and your boots and you start head out.
Okay.
And so, you know, you got to school and
you tell your kids, I went through a blizzard.
Yeah,
to
and
go
I
to
went
school.
to school. Yeah.
There's a half an inch of ice on the road and y'all crying over it.
Y'all can go.
Okay.
But I loved it. Like, it was a really good childhood. And then we moved to Marshall, Missouri. And I was there for 8 years. And I had a really good childhood there too. Like, gracias a Dios, my parents gave us a really good childhood. Like, I don't think I ever, like, I have a bad memory of a childhood. Like, you know, it was that age where, like, you can be out all day and your parents wouldn't worry. You know, like, me and my sister would be, like, across the city, just go to a friend's house and they'd just be like, okay, we'll just be back.
Really?
You know? Yeah, and there was no worries, you know?
Man, my mom would not leave me in the house alone, and I was 15.
Bro, my mom would just be like, all right, y'all take care of each other. You know, have fun, but be back before dark.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay. And we would literally, I mean, it was a small town. It was like 13,000 people. But still, like, we would walk to our friend's house, which was like across our small town, and just hang out until dark.
So y'all legit until the street lights come on, you're home.
Yeah, we're home. Like, she knew who to call if she needed us to see if we were okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, gracias a Dios, we had a really good childhood. Man, you know, my dad was an accountant. I didn't like moving, I will tell you that. I did not like moving because you make your friends and you gotta leave them, you know? And then I wanted to grow up with all these people, like middle school and high school and graduate, and all, but I didn't get to do that. So I moved into Texas when I was a freshman year in high school.
That's tough.
It was so tough.
That's tough because you're in high school, everybody has their group.
Yeah,
everyone has their clique.
It's so tough. But gracias a Dios, I had some really cool people that were just, you know, they're like, hey, come hang out with us, you know.
New kid.
Yeah, new kid. And I was like, okay. I worked at Chick-fil-A for since I was 15.
The one in the mall?
The one in the mall.
Yeah.
That's when the mall was
popping.
It
was good.
Yes.
I remember, I don't know if this is her name, but there was a girl, her name was I remember she said Sunshine or something like that.
Sunny?
Sunny.
Sunny, yes.
Yeah, curly hair.
Yes.
And I was like, I've never seen her
Uh-huh.
mad
Yeah.
or sad or whatever. Always just smiling. I was like, is that the effect Chick-fil-A has on people?
Hey, dude, my boss at the time was like, when you clock in, you touch the register, you leave all your problems behind, or if you're having a bad day, you leave it behind. And when you clock in, you're like all rainbows and sunshine, which it was a good thing, you know, because you knew that you were going to in a good environment and there to have a good time, have fun, and just get to learn people. And that's when I like really like broke out of my shell more, and like I got to like really talk to people even more. You know, I mean, I was always talkative,
right?
But Chick-fil-A is
restrictive.
Yeah, you know, this is forever ago. I mean, I don't feel 31.
Yeah. How do you feel?
I feel like I'm 26. You know.
Yeah.
And so I told myself, I'm like, dude, I'm fixing to be 31. In my 20s, I had kids. You know, and I knew I needed a degree. You know, I'm just like, I need a degree to get out of debt, just to have something. My dad's always told me, go to school, you know, and have something under your belt. He's always encouraged me and Abby to have some kind of career. So in my 20s, I was like, career, kids, family, that's it. Get out of debt, right? And so, gracias a Dios, I was able to just achieve that, like, you know? And so then I was like in bed, and I was like, dude, I'm freaking almost 31. And I'm like, I need to start like living it up, you know, like just like, I don't want to be that person like in my 40s and my 50s and be like, dude, I wish I would have done that. You know? And so I was like, okay, how am I going to get there? At that time, I was like kind of not like self-conscious about myself, like, you know, because I mean, I just had 2 kids.
Right.
I wasn't worried about my fitness or the way I looked or whatever. So it's like, okay, I gotta buckle down and just like lose a couple pounds. Just feel better about myself. Yeah. Right? I started working out, eating, you know,
healthy.
And I haven't had a pan dulce in over a month, dude. You know how hard that is?
I just had one earlier today. I messed up already.
Don't get me wrong, like I want to every single day, but I was just like,
especially working at a bakery, smelling it, cooking it, baking it.
Oh my gosh. But I had this goal in mind. You know, and so then I was like, okay, well, I've already lost like 10 pounds and I feel great.
That's what's up.
And so it's like, okay, what is next? And I'm like, okay, I've always wanted to do, like, if you were to ask me, what's one job you can have? Like, money did not matter. Your dream job.
So what is one job you want?
It would be a radio talk show host.
Okay.
I totally would do that in a heartbeat.
So did you listen to a lot of radio?
Growing up I did. I just like talking to people. I'm an open-minded. Like I want to know your perspective. Like, how do you feel? Like, you know, change my mind. You know, and just talking to people about random stuff. You know, we can cheese me out, or we can just.
This is your start.
You know, and so that's when I was like, Ro, dude. Let's start a freaking podcast.
Oh, man.
And I'm like so excited. Like, I never thought, you know, that I would do this. And Uriel is just like, Uriel's my husband, right? And we've been married for like almost 10 years, I think. But he just goes with it. Because I'm that person, like, I get us into stuff. He's just like, what did you get me into now? And he just goes with it.
Is he on the method of happy wife, happy life?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool.
He's so supportive. But I just told him, I'm like, dude, me and Ro are going to start a podcast. And he was like, okay. Cool.
When?
Yeah, just tell me when, you know, and he's been so supportive, and he's like in there entertaining my 2 kids. So I do have him to thank for that. Because now, like, I can look at it and be like, if this podcast doesn't work out, I can always be like, you know what, though? I tried it.
Yeah, 100%.
I tried it.
100%.
It may have failed or whatever, but at least I tried it, and I don't regret it.
That's how I feel about it, too, with anything that is media. And if you ask me the same question, like, what would I do? I like to work in the back end of things, but I also like to be the front end. And so, like, let's say if it was you and your best friend from high school, you're like, I want to start a podcast. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just make y'all worry about what to talk about and let me handle the back end of it. Let me handle the audio, the video, the posting, the script of it. Like, let me do all of that. Because that's where my brain that's where my brainstorming starts to work its best.
And
like,
you're
how
so
to do
good
this
at
and
it.
that. And so, because I constantly listen to podcasts, and I take bits and pieces of everything that I listen to.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I like this, I like that.
You learn.
And so I learn. You know,
Yeah.
I'm constantly learning, constantly watching, constantly listening. I just like filming in general, which is something I never even studied for. Studied for auto mechanics, did that for 2.5 years, and then just always had a camera in my hand or cameras in my hands.
Right.
And then just fell into it. I just kind of like it. I didn't think I would like media, but I like it.
You're good at it.
I just don't like the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know, like I just want to create and then be like, here's money. I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, thanks.
Yeah,
just keep creating. I'm like,
just keep
sweet.
creating it.
I'll keep doing it. I'll post whatever I want and just
Yeah.
give me money, you know? That's something I would want to do like long term. But at the same time, I like when people have different stages of their life that they are professionals in. Some are good for let's say some are good at auto mechanics for 5 years. And they're like, cool, I did that for 5 years, what's next?
Yeah.
And then they go into real estate. They're like, all right, I did this for 5 years, what's next?
Yeah.
Just want to do it. You know, life is too short to focus
Heck
on
yeah.
one thing.
Yes.
I'm like, you know what? That's the mentality I want.
Yes,
like, it's
for
too
sure.
short to focus on one thing.
Heck yeah.
I did my hard labor I'm 27. So like, let's say the first 7 years. All right, cool. I'm still doing, I don't say hard labor, but it's still labor intensive. But I'm like, all right, let me switch it up and then focus on something else and then change. Cause that's why I feel like people don't change, because they stick to
the same thing.
forever, same
yeah.
profession
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compared to doing this and me constantly traveling, I'm like, all right, like let me explore, let me give people's perspective on how I see things,
Totally.
you know. And so that's why when
Totally.
like you mentioned, like you're 31, you need to start living now, and you had your okay, when did you have your awakening? Was it working at Chick-fil-A or before your kids, after your kids, while having kids?
Like awakening.
Like
as in,
like I need to start just
like literally like in December.
last year.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I had a goal in mind when
Yeah.
I was in my 20s, you know, like I'm like, okay, I got to get out of debt. I got to purchase a house. I have kids, you know, my husband, all these, you know. And then I was like, I turned 30 and I was like, okay. But literally I was just like, gracias a Dios, we bought our house. Besides our house and our mortgage, we don't have, right?
Right. Yeah.
Debt. My kids, gracias a Dios, are healthy and striving. Like I achieved that goal.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, what is next? And so I was just like laying in bed one day and I was like, I'm gonna make my 30s the best years yet. And it was just that, you know. I mean, like you said, like I think, well, as a mom, I want to show my kids that you can do anything.
Yeah. Just don't suck.
Yes.
Just don't suck.
Yes, just don't suck. Just don't suck. Yeah, like I want to show them that, hey, you can do anything you want in this world. Because my dad told me and my sister that. They were like, you can be the next president. Like, you can do whatever you want. And so I want to teach my kids that. You know, like if you want to start a podcast, you go freaking do it. We'll make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I just want to teach them that.
Okay.
I want to be that badass mom. You know what I mean?
You want to be a cool mom.
You
You're
know,
not like the other regular moms.
Yeah. You know, and my dad's always taught me to, well, my mom too. They both taught me that, like, if you try something and it fails, it failed. But you tried it. And that's all that matters.
I think I had my awakening when I first traveled outside the U.S. by myself.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Which was in Canada. That was
2 years ago?
2 years ago. So
Yeah.
in 2023, 22. I was just at home, and I was at the gym, and I was like, man, I need to do something.
Yeah.
Like, I need to do something different. I'm tired of just going to Houston or going to Galveston, you know, just traveling within a certain perimeter
Yeah.
of, like, it's easy to go there. And I'm like, man, I need to go somewhere. That's when I was introduced to EF plugin, EF Ultimate Break. Use my code UAROGELO100 to save $100 off on your next trip. And I was like, you know what? All right, you know, I was encouraged. You know, they told me, like, just book it. And I'm like, all right. So I just booked it. And I booked it, like, not the way you should book things. I will say that. You should not book it the way I booked it. And a little heads up, and I hate talking about it because I sound like a broken record and I sound like a sponsored ad. But everything has to be paid 3 months before.
Yes.
So if your trip is in January, February, March, April, so like my trip is in May. I'm going to Italy, so my trip is in May. Everything had to be paid off in February. So if you're like, let me pay in a year in advance, you don't have 12 months, you have 9 months to pay for everything. I'm like, all right, let me go to Canada. When should I go? I should go in May. All right, cool. It's January. I have 2 months to pay off $4,000. And so, all right, credit card, you're coming in handy today. So I put it all on my credit card. And I was like, hey, fingers crossed. And I prayed real hard to God. I'm like, I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know how we're going to do it. But we're going to make it. And God's like, I got you. I'm like, bet, you got me. And then I went. And I didn't use my credit card in Canada because I already maxed it out.
Yeah.
And so
God.
I was using my debit card while I was out there. I met some amazing people, met some really good friends. My original roommate has been my roommate for these past 3 trips that I've taken. So I met him in Canada. We went to Croatia together. We did a friends meetup in Boston because he's from Boston.
Correct. I remember.
In Massachusetts. And then now me and him are roommates again for Italy and Greece.
I thought you met him in Croatia. That's so
I originally
cool.
met him.
Where's he from?
From Massachusetts. Originally from Massachusetts.
That's so cool.
At the time, he lived in Dallas. So there was one time I went to Dallas after Canada just to visit him.
Okay.
And I spent the weekend with him. And then just came back. And that's the one thing I don't like is apparently people don't keep in touch with other people from these trips.
Yeah.
So side note, I'll probably tell this story in another video. But if this camera can see it, this leg has a really cool scar. And I got into an accident in Croatia.
I remember
and there was a nurse on the trip that was part of the group. And so I've kept in touch with her. I'm like, hey, like once every 2 to 3 months, I got everybody on social media, just text, whatever. Every now and then I'll text them like, hey, what's up? How's life going? We'll be on a phone call for like 10, 15 minutes. So I still keep up to date with the people that I travel with. Because it's kind of crazy. You meet somebody for a week. You tell them everything that you haven't told your close friends. Because you're like, oh, they're just a stranger. They're gonna go on their way. And to leave it like
just like that,
I'm like, I don't like that. I'm not. That doesn't fly with me. So I keep up to date.
That's so
with
cool.
with people that I connected with on these trips, and I still do to this day. That was my switch. I'm like, okay, let me go to Canada, and I chose Canada 1 because I like it, and 2 because in case something were to happen, just hop right down the border. I'm close enough to the U.S. in case
I don't like it.
If I don't like it, if something were to happen, just go right down the border,
Yeah.
And then from there, I was like, okay, like this is what life is like. Just out exploring, learning, and then I just been hooked ever since. So now my goal is to visit a new country.
That's awesome.
Every year, whether it be by myself, whether a friend wants to come with me. I don't care. I encourage people to go out, leave the U.S. because it's easy for me to say, let me go to South Dakota for a weekend, and I'll go figure it out and then come back. And I'm like, the difference from South Dakota to here is nothing.
Yeah.
They got a Chick-fil-A, we got a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
They may not have Dr. Pepper, which I'm sad. We got Dr. Pepper, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Wherever you go, in my eyes, it's the same place. You go to work, you go to the gym, you hang out with friends, you come back home. But what are you living for? Rather than these different countries, different countries have different customs, different aspects of life, and you're like, oh, why do I do that? Oh, we do it because of this. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I never knew that. Like the one thing I took away from Canada, apart from the scenery and the people, their restaurant system. The restaurant system to me is like the best. So as soon as you sit down, let's say it's just me and you, we sit down. The waiter already comes with a jug of water and 2 cups. We don't ask for water. They just give it to you.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's some water. And here's your menu. I'm like, all right, cool. And then you, like another restaurant, you order and then whatever. And then that's when I got the taste of they don't bother you every 5 minutes. They're like, they just see, oh, your water's kind of low. Let me just replace your jug. Not ask if you want more water.
Just refill it.
And then the one thing, culture shock, which is kind of, I don't know if it's a culture shock, but it's kind of weird to me. Canada has like very little ice in all their cups. Because I went to A&W, right?
Okay.
I guess Canada's version of Whataburger. And I was like, oh, where's y'all's the soda machine? They're like, oh, it's back there. And I looked at the soda machine. I'm like, where's the ice? There is no ice dispenser on their soda machines. And I was like, and I felt awkward, I guess, or weird. I asked the cashier, I'm like, y'all have any ice? And they're like, is it not cold? I was like, what's not cold? Like the machine. I was like, y'all's machine is cold? And
Like, I need ice.
yeah, and they're like, yeah, it comes out cold. And they're like, are you not from here? I was like, no, I'm from the fucking States. And they're like, oh, okay, we get it.
Yeah, let me go get you some
Yeah,
ice.
and so they're like, well, you don't need ice. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, all right, I'm gonna trust y'all's word. I get some Coke from the machine, and it comes out like cold already.
Like,
so
yeah.
it's just cold soda, and I'm like, oh, there's no watered down soda in these fast food joints. Like everywhere I went, every restaurant I went to, no cups had ice in it. Everything came out like super cold.
Yeah.
And obviously it would warm up afterwards, but it would still taste like soda. It would not be watered down because of the ice. I'm like, damn, we should start doing that, which we won't ever because we just can't change the whole, restaurant system in the U.S. But that was my favorite thing is that you don't need ice in your cups. It just came out cold.
It's cool seeing different cultures. And
Oh, 100%.
the different,
Apart from my scar, my injury that happened in Croatia, that was like one of my takeaways from there. And now going to Italy and Greece.
That's so exciting.
I'm excited because my sister's coming with me. I signed up for a pizza making class. We're going to Greece. No, where are we going? I'll tell you exactly where we're going. I'll tell you. Okay, we're gonna spend 2 days in Rome,
Nice.
2 days in the Amalfi Coast, 2 days in Athens.
Dude.
Cross over through a boat, and 2 days in Naxos, and then our last day is in Athens. So
That's
from
awesome.
May 9th through the 19th is when
Do
we will be
you
gone.
buy like little souvenirs?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah.
Because me and Uriel, we started like a little souvenir wall. And so everywhere we go somewhere, we buy something for our wall.
Yeah.
So I was just
So I
wondering.
buy souvenirs for other people.
Yeah.
My souvenir is tattoos. And so
Look at you.
yeah, so I don't want to like buy another bottle opener or like a fridge magnet, which
Yeah.
I'll buy it for like my mom or my friends or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I'll get it for them, no problem. But my souvenirs are my tattoos. And so I've dedicated my left arm. Did I tell you the whole story about my left
Nice.
arm?
You didn't know. I
Okay,
didn't even
so
know that.
my left arm is my passport. So each thing is what happened at that
Nice.
country. So each tattoo I get has to be a picture that I took.
Nice.
So it can't be something off of Google. I have to take the picture and be like, hey, I want this
Show them to the
on
tattoo
my arm.
artist. And be like, I
So
want this.
this is in Banff,
Dang.
and then this is the Three Sisters.
You went to Banff?
Yeah.
Was that beautiful?
Man, the water
I
looked like
bet.
Gatorade.
I know. I bet. That's on my
It's
bucket
crazy
list.
because in person, like this looks Photoshop. It can't be Photoshop because I'm living it, but it
That's
looks
so cool.
fake, but it's so real, and the water's blue. Looks like Gatorade. That's the best way I can explain it. And I got to canoe on the lake, Lake Louise, like super cold as well. But no, it was nice.
That's
it was,
nice.
It was beautiful. But yeah.
So what's the other one?
So the other one is the route that I took to get my scar.
Ah,
on
that's
my
a pretty
leg.
good one.
And so because we were on the mountain range, and I have an app that tracks my routes, so I can use it as a write-off, like for business or personal use. And so like it gives me my expenses or whatever. And I had the tracker on while I was in Europe. And so I took a screenshot of the routes. This is the exact
cool.
route. So this is the bottom of the mountain range, and luckily I had a mountain up here, and we crashed halfway
there.
on the mountain. So for the camera can't see, but it says start on the bottom, and at the top it says DNF, did not finish, because I was on my way to see some
Did
caves.
not finish.
And we didn't get to see the caves because we crashed, and then we had to hop back down. And that was my third day. My
Oh my
third day in Croatia, and I
gosh.
have 5 more days.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was like a day or two before you left.
No, I was struggling.
I bet you were.
The whole time.
Because that's a pretty bad
Yeah,
scar.
I mean, when I tell you, like, the scar, that's a for life scar.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It ain't going nowhere. But
For
my
sure.
leg, like, you know how like your legs have like the little pivot, like the little divot point. Well, my leg was swollen to where it filled in those pivot points. And then my leg was swollen and red.
Dude.
My foot looked swollen. There were days where I just said, man, like I'm just gonna call it,
Dude.
But we were in the middle of the ocean, and so we were island hopping. And I'm like, but how am I gonna call it? The next island doesn't have an airport, so I have to wait till we get to an island that has an airport, which happens to be the last island.
Yeah.
And I was struggling, but I thugged it out, you know, like I thugged it out. The first day was our whiteout party, so white shirt, white shorts, and luckily my bandage was white, so I was like, all right, kind of blends in a little bit. It was okay. I got some free drinks out of it. I got some free food out of it. You know, I was babied a little bit. You know, I kind of enjoyed a little bit of it.
Just a little.
But I just wish I could have done more. But I was like, man, I spent the money. I gotta thug it out. I'm not gonna leave early because of this.
Well,
but yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That you get tattoos for your.
And so now we'll see. Maybe I'll get a pizza for Italy.
That's really cool.
And then maybe I don't know, something for Greece. Roman numerals. Nah, that's too cliche. I gotta get something different.
We've never traveled outside the U.S.
You have.
We've gone to like Alabama, Tennessee, New York.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite state?
Like that I visited?
That you've been to, yeah.
I love New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. It's the coolest city ever.
Yeah.
But I also enjoyed Tennessee.
Okay. So are you more of a city or
I don't know.
nature?
I don't know.
I'm more of a nature. Just because, like, you just mind your business.
Yeah, but I also loved New York. I tell everybody that, like, if you ever get the opportunity, you got to do New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been twice. I've been to New York.
Yeah.
Been a little bit in Jersey. And the first time I went, we stayed in Queens. Well, I went by myself, and I stayed in Queens. And then the next time I went, we were in the Bronx.
I just like the memories. Like, you know, like I have awesome memories with every place that we've visited.
Yeah.
And we have a trip already paid for to go to California in July. So I'm kind of excited for that too.
Where in Cali?
I think. So Uriel, he just paid for the airplane tickets and just a car. No hotels. So I think we're gonna go to like Long Beach, San Diego, LA.
Okay.
Ian's really into battleships. He wants to go see the Queen Mary that's over there. So that's his birthday present.
Okay.
Since he's a December baby, we couldn't go.
Right.
And I mean, after that, there's no other break. I mean, so we're like, let's just go in July just to enjoy it. So he's okay. And so that's his Christmas present. So he's really excited for it. And I'm excited too, just to for the experience.
How old is he?
He's 8.
Dang, I didn't think an 8-year-old would like be
He's 8.
that much of a fan. Like realizing like, oh, snap, I'm
Yes.
doing this.
And so
At 8, I was excited to get a certain Hot Wheel.
I know. But you know, as when you're not a parent yet, but
Right.
when you become one, like you try to give them the best life.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like I had, gracias a Dios, my parents gave me and my sister an awesome life. And so when I had kids, I'm like, not that they didn't, you know, but you're going to try to give them even a better life.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so I just was like, I don't care what it's going to take, but we're going to make it happen.
100%.
You know?
I like
and
that.
so he may be spoiled.
Yeah.
It's the memories,
Yeah.
you know, and I want him to be like, and I want him to be like, hey, I had this life growing up, and I want to keep this life. So I kind of want to encourage him to be like, if you want to keep this certain life, you gotta go to school.
Yeah.
You gotta make something of yourself. You know, you
gotta
can't
put in the work.
You gotta put in the work.
Yeah, I was always a little bit jealous of the friends during, like in school. Oh, I went to here for spring break, or I went there, and I'm like, man, like I was jealous. I was like, man, I kind of want that.
Yeah.
And I want to do, like, I want to go to Colorado for spring break or for Christmas or whatever. Like, I want to go here for a certain, like, for spring break. And then now I get to experience that. Like, now I'm be able to, oh yeah, I'm going here for spring break. I'm going here for the summer. I'm going here for Christmas. Now I get to live my childhood dreams of like going to certain places and hearing about it. And now I get to live through it. And so I want to tell people, yeah, I've been there, instead of that's on my wish list. I'm like, nah, let it be on my wish list, and then let it be part of my bucket list, like checked off of my bucket list.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. You know, and like kind of going back, like that's when I was like, this is what's my 30s is gonna be like. Goals and dreams and like trips. That's not. We're gonna live it up in the 30s, you know. So
I just need money.
Yeah, we just need some money.
So I need money.
I know it.
But yeah, that'll conclude for we're gonna call it Zuro, right?
Zuro, I like
Zuro
that.
podcast, the Zuro pod.
Yes, let's do it.
So we're calling this the Zuro pod,
Yes.
Zuri and Ro podcast. If you enjoyed it, dope. If you didn't, at least you watched it all the way through.
Thank you.
And your view counts all the way.
Thank you.
How often? Once a month? Twice a month?
Dude, I don't know.
We're just getting started.
I
Parent,
think
you know, so
go with it.
we'll figure it out.
We'll
I don't
figure
know.
it out
As long
as
as we hit
we go.
record, we're gonna upload something.
Yes, and I think, you know, we should talk about like growing up,
Mm-hmm.
like Hispanos
Yeah.
in an American, you know, just things, and then just about anything and everything.
Yeah.
You know, fitness and just life. I'm excited.
Me too.
Thanks for being what is it called? Like a
Co-host?
Co-host.
Yeah, your
Yes,
co-host.
I'm so excited.
So we'll see who the future guest is.
Yes, I'm so excited.
And so, but yeah, with that being said, y'all have a good day.
Yes, thank
Praise
you
God.
so much.